Hey guys, welcome back at Malt Mariners on the Whiskey Roads. I am at a surprisingly sunny road trip through Sweden, and I'm hosted by
Pär Caldenby at Smögen Whisky.
And I'm really curious to see that distillery. Let's go inside. Hello, hello again.
Yeah.
So we are in your mashing and distilling area, if I can see that.
Yes, the actual distillery room, as a matter of fact. And up there to the left of you is our mash tun, which is actually a repurposed dairy tank, which we fitted with a false bottom. And I do use a very gentle mashing cycle with only 2 waters instead of 3 or 4.
Yeah.
With a lower maximum temperature, and the idea is to extract the core maltiness rather than some of the grassier bitter notes that you can get from the husks of the malt. And I've got gravitation flow only from the mash tun to one of the 3 washbacks behind me.
Yeah.
So we got number 1 in the corner, and then 2 and 3, and they're also repurposed dairy tanks. So we thought a lot about economy when we started up. From the mash tun, we've got 225 kilos of typically heavily peated malt for Smögen. 2 waters, as I said, and they combine to 1,050 litres in all. And that will give us 900 litres of worts into the washback.
So each washback 900 litres?
Yes, 900 litres from the mix of the malt and the water in the mash tun. And that will obviously also give us 900 litres of wash at around 8% alcohol. We use a very long fermentation time of 6 or 7 days.
Oh wow, that's very long.
It's very long. Obviously, the distiller's yeast that I'm using will have produced all the alcohol in about 2 days.
Yes.
44 hours. But as you will know, the prolonged fermentation time will give you a secondary fermentation with lactic acid formation, amongst other things. So you get a fairly sour, potent, and also quite complex flavor from the wash. So long fermentation time. Obviously, you don't do anything during fermentation. You just check that it actually kicks off, and it inevitably does that. So after fermentation, we've got the wash still in the far corner.
Just before we talk about that, you only do peated malt then?
Smögen is heavily peated malt, but I do have another brand called Askeim, which is new since last year.
Okay.
And that is based on old malt, or old barley strains rather, like Golden Promise, Maris Otter, Chevalier.
Interesting.
To give an even more enhanced malty and bready and also fruity character to it. And Askeim, unlike Smögen, is not heavily peated. It's unpeated or lightly peated only.
So when people see Smögen on a bottle, it means it's heavily peated Swedish whiskey, basically.
Yeah, it will.
Cool.
It will be.
Okay.
And that that is our main product, Smögen. Askeim is, as these old barley strains and malt styles, they're much more expensive to buy in, and they give less alcohol.
Yeah.
So that's a niche product from us,
Yeah.
but a very good one.
Cool.
Anyway, we've got the wash still. As you can see, it's more or less like a traffic cone shape to it, leading into a worm tub condenser.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
We talked about it before we started filming, and it's one of the few things that I knew about your distillery before I came here.
Yeah.
Because I actually wrote an article about you when I worked for an online shop.
Okay.
And that was something I was super hyped about
Yeah.
when I read about it, that there's a Swedish distillery with warm tubs. So
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, it's what I always have wanted to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, the wash still, 900 liters, so there's no point in making more wash than that.
And it's a full size still.
It's a full size still,
Awesome.
indeed, and it's modeled on, it's a fairly unusual design with this extremely wide neck, but it's modeled on Bunnahaven and Lagavulin.
Okay.
In order to get a very muscular character in the low wines. And I run this still as hard as I can. And they're all heated by direct electrical heating, by the way. So obviously the wash boils, vapors rise. The line arms do decline. This one is about 10 degrees and the spirit still is 2 degrees, I believe. Into the wash tub, and then the distillate will flow in through the spirit safe.
And we're back.
Yeah, and we're back.
Awesome.
And from 900 liters at around 8% in volume, we get around 285 liters at about 25% in the low wines.
200, wow, that's, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's very small.
And
Yeah.
on purpose, the low wines are very characterful, to put it mildly,
Yeah.
or very dirty if you get technical about it. But obviously we've got the second still as well.
Beautiful still. Wow.
With a boil ball, obviously slightly smaller to make it even more of a minuscule still.
Yeah.
Electrical heating here as well, but the boil ball will give you an enhanced cooling of the vapors going up the neck, and that means I can get more reflux from this type of still. And while I run the wash still very hard, I will run the spirit still a lot slower in order to get a good reflux and a clean spirit.
Okay. So dirty, low wines.
Dirty, low
clean
wines.
spirit. And what kind of flavor would you aim for in your new make if you run it like that?
Pronounced maltiness.
Mm-hmm.
It will obviously for Smögen be distinctly peaty, but that's not the main idea. The main idea is that maltiness and a fairly oily body.
Mm.
And the hard running of the wash still helps with basically both of them.
Yeah.
So I want to pack a lot of character into the spirit still, but then get a clean spirit out of that. So I don't want to lose too much in the wash still,
Awesome.
character-wise. And obviously then we have to go back to the spirit safe, or we can stop halfway. 2 receivers. We've got a separate faints receiver, which is not that common, but that means that we can actually triple distill.
Okay.
Run twice through the spirit still then. And I've done that a couple of times.
So usually feints and foreshots are usually remixed with the low wines before that? And
yeah, well, usually you've got one low wines and faints receiver. So you get an automatic mix, but I choose to separate them in order to be able to actually triple distill as well.
Awesome.
And then we've got the new make receiver, or the intermediate spirit receiver as it's commonly referred to. Very bureaucratic, but so that's where the heart of the spirit run will end up. And I do take a very wide cut in order to get a very complex and wide selection of flavors into the new make.
Awesome.
So the 4 shots run for about 30 minutes from the spirit still, nice and gentle, I could stop at about 8 or 9 minutes with the 4 shots, but I choose to have a longer time in order to let quite a bit of the sharper, lighter, fruity notes pass through, and then collect what will in the end be a heavier spirit. So after half an hour, the strength of the flow will be about 75.5%, and then after just over 2 hours, usually about 2 hours 5 minutes, the lower or second cut into the tails will be at around 60 to 61%. And I do base that judged on character, my nose alone. So there's no computer running things here. It's just my nose.
So do you do the whole production yourself then?
Yes.
It's
I've made every single drop myself.
Wow, that's impressive. So how much do you know your numbers in terms of how much whiskey or spirit you make a year at the moment?
The target is to produce at least 10,000 liters of new make spirits every year. And that's not a lot,
no.
But it's all handmade, and it's a very small operation. So
cool. Awesome.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Like to give that into perspective, like even the smaller Scottish distilleries would usually make 300,000 to 500,000 liters a year, and the bigger ones make millions. So 10,000 liters really is a very small amount of spirit, but it sounds like a very crafty and personal approach.
It is very crafty, and obviously I've got a very long fermentation time and only 3 washbacks. Yeah. So that means I can only produce thrice a week. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah, and we're running again.
Right?
Yeah, perfect. That's
what we want to discuss more. Should we move into the warehouse?
I think warehouse is a interesting next step. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go.
Hello again.
Right. Then we are in our main warehouse where most of our casks are stored. And right before us here we've got some, they're obviously sherry hogsheads, Oloroso, and a couple of PX, and a rum one actually up there. I really would wish that people could smell through the camera. Yeah.
Because it's a fantastic smell in here.
Once you pass the threshold into here, even the most skeptical of our visitors would go,
now we're talking. Yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's a really, really interesting smell.
Yeah.
And sweet, lovely. Yeah. Wow.
So what we're smelling is actually the interaction between alcohol, the ethanol, and the oak. Because we only use oak casks here, although we could, by law, use other woods as well. But it's all oak. Mainly bourbon barrels, obviously, as most people. But we do have a high proportion of sherry casks, mainly Oloroso, but also a few PX and some Finos, and Amontillado casks as well.
Exciting. Any reasons why you prefer Oloroso over PX, or is it just
Oloroso? I don't prefer one to the other really. It's just a matter of Oloroso being more widely available. Yeah. I really like, as a sherry, I really appreciate the Amontillado style. A well-matured Amontillado is probably my favorite. Mm-hmm. Although, obviously, if it's a very hot day and you want something cool, then you go for a Fino or Manzanilla. Yeah. But Amontillado is one of my favorite sherries. So that's one thing. And I've also got some ex-wine casks, but they're all, save 1 or 2 casks, white wine casks. So only the odd red wine cask is about here. And our oldest cask is still here, was filled on the 20th of August 2010, so almost 15 years ago. Yeah. And we've only got 6 casks left from 2010. Yeah. And the first few vintages are quite depleted because obviously that's where we've had to pick our casks for our bottlings so far. It's maturing very well. It's coming about nicely.
Do you have like a feeling if your maturation is a bit quicker than in Scotland? Because I mean, today is very, very warm here.
Today is very warm, as was yesterday, but inside the warehouse here, it will not be above 19 degrees, regardless of the weather outside. Yeah. Not even in 2018, when we actually had plus 30 degrees for weeks on end.
So it's a stone warehouse then?
It's reinforced concrete, massive. Yeah. And
the wooden.
Yeah, wooden roof with tiles on top. So it's retaining its temperature very well. And the fluctuation in temperature is up to 19 degrees plus, and then if you have an extended period of really cold temperature in the winter, you could get out -10. So you have a 25 to 30 degree span in temperature variation, which is important.
Cool.
So I'd say that probably maturation here is quite equal to the north of Scotland. Mm-hmm. We're about on par with, say, something like Clynelish around here. Yeah. Okay. As far as the latitude is concerned. And we do obviously see a few steps, or what you want to call it, when there is sort of a leap typically in maturity in the whiskey. So if you take the bourbon casks, they're quite nice even at 5 or 6 years, but they're fairly simple. But when you reach between, well, say 8 years plus minus 1 year, you will get to the next level and start to get some really nice complexity working. And that's a reason that we've got one bottling called 90 proof, which is a small batch, 3 bourbon barrels at the time, at 9 years, that we issue as a sort of a core product.
Well, Pär, thank you so much for having me here.
You're welcome, Leon.
This is a super, super exciting distillery. I can't wait to try some of your whiskey. So if I get that right, we have basically like an Islay style whiskey in Sweden. Can I say that?
Islay and west coast of Scotland kind of style. So it's fairly heavy. It's distinctly oily on the body. And Smögen is heavily peated, so that's very much an Islay kind of thing. But I'd actually say that Springbank's Longrow is probably one of the more sort of similar styles of whiskey.
Now you made me even more interested because Longrow is one of my favorite
Longrow
brands
is very good.
in Scotland.
Anything from Springbank is very good. So
okay. Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much for having me. And maybe there will be an interview afterwards. We don't know yet. But I hope you enjoyed this tour through Smögen. And now it's your turn to get your hands on a bottle of Smögen and try that whiskey. It sounds very, very interesting, and I'm already want to try some of this stuff. So let's go and see you down the road. Cheers.
See ya.